You know, for decades, the whole world of venture capital has pretty much run on this powerful, almost mythical mix of instinct, connections, and pure gut feel. But that's all starting to change. Artificial intelligence is walking into the room, and today we're going to dig into how it's starting to rewrite the rules of this incredibly high-stakes game.
I mean, it sounds like something straight out of science fiction, right? A world where it's algorithms, not people, picking the next billion-dollar company. But this isn't some far-off thought experiment anymore. It's the central question that firms are wrestling with right now. And it really frames this entire explainer.
All right, so first up, let's talk about AI versus that classic gut feel. To really get why AI is so appealing, we first have to understand just how nearly impossible the search for a unicorn really is. The entire VC model, the whole thing, is built on finding these crazy outlier successes. We're talking about the companies that deliver massive fund-making returns. But trying to spot one of those before anyone else does, that's like trying to find a needle in a haystack if the haystack was the size of a continent. So just how rare is that legendary gut feel we always hear about? Well, get this. It's this rare. Only 0.1% of all investors are considered superforecasters. These are the people who can somehow consistently beat the odds. And here's the crazy part. Even for that tiny, tiny group, for the absolute best of the best, only about 20% of their investments actually become those massive 10x home runs. That means a whopping 80% of their bets don't. And that right there, that's the fundamental problem that AI is promising to help solve, improving those odds. Okay, so if even the most elite human gut is this fallible, what's the alternative? Well, that brings us right to the new investment playbook, training AI to spot the winners. So how does this actually work? Well, you're basically training an AI model on this just an absolute ocean of data points. It's not just looking at a business plan, it's analyzing everything, from market dynamics and what competitors are doing to media sentiment and the digital footprint of a company's website. It's all about finding the important signals buried in all that noise.
In doing all this brings two massive advantages. First, speed. I mean, an AI can tear through due diligence at a pace no human team could ever match. And second, it can help strip out some of those unconscious human biases, leading to fairer, more objective calls based purely on the merits and the data. But hold on, this is not a story about robots taking over. Not at all. In fact, it turns out that the biggest blind spot in this new AI-powered world, well, that's exactly where we humans still have the edge. Look, it really all boils down to a partnership. Think about it. AI is just incredible at churning through data, spotting patterns, and doing it all super fast. But what can't it do? It can't measure a founder's grit. It can't build a real relationship. And it can't truly understand the charisma or the vision that pushes a team forward. Those are the uniquely human things that are still absolutely crucial. And this is where the story gets really interesting. While the entire industry has been so focused on using AI to find the next big deal, they've been missing something huge, a massive, massive opportunity hidden in plain sight, the data they already have on the companies after they've written the check. So, what is this blind spot? It's that super critical 4 to 10 year period after an investment gets made. This is where the real work happens, where companies are actually built. It's where they succeed or they fail. And, historically, it's an area where VCs just haven't pointed their data fire hoses, at least not compared to sourcing new deals. So this all leads us to the future, right? A powerful human plus machine strategy that's not just about finding deals, but is really about actively building value. And this solution, it actually has a name, portfolio intelligence. It's this really cool idea of using data and analytics after you invest to actively help your companies grow, make smarter decisions about more funding down the road, and just generally reduce risk across your entire fund.
Okay, so what does this look like in the real world? It's actually a pretty clear process. You automate all that tedious data collection. You supplement your hard-won gut instinct with cold, hard facts. You use industry benchmarks to see how your companies are really doing, and then you use all that information to act early and solve problems before they become crises. So when you boil it all down, the real revolution here isn't about using some fancy AI to just pick winners out of a lineup. The true competitive edge in venture capital is shifting. It's becoming about using this human-machine partnership to actively nurture, guide, and help build the unicorns of tomorrow.
And all of this leaves us with one final, pretty fascinating question for the future. As this partnership between our human intuition and machine intelligence gets deeper and more integrated, who will, and maybe more importantly, who should, have the final say? The human or the machine? It's a question that's really going to define the next era of innovation.